Hi guys, it is 9:02 p.m. on Thursday, the 114th day I'm doing this. Here is your daily dose of hope. And I just got off of a Zoom that was awesome. I'm so grateful. It is definitely just, I'm working incredibly hard on being present, this week especially. So I'm it's not easy, right? Because this isn't something that I would prefer, but um, I'm ultimately really excited because I'm realizing that when I honor myself, and what I mean by that is like if someone asks me a question or offers, ask me if I want to do something or something like that, I'm realizing I don't have to immediately respond. Like I can actually check in with myself first. So I was able to unpack a couple things and realize what were the blocks, what were the things that like I would like to do that, but if I actually take the time and space to think about why am I not automatically doing it, right? Oh, that's why. And so we did a meditation, and it was about the heart of all things. And I think it was, what does your heart want you to know? And what like instantly came was, you are stronger than you realize. See, it's still, and it like hit a nerve because it was like, I'm such a literal person that it was like the heart was said that like very strongly to me, and it's almost like it didn't travel up to the brain. So it's like I am stronger than I realize. So that was big. And so today's quote, I just grabbed it because I'm about to do a thing with my daughter, but it says, if plan A didn't work, the alphabet has 25 more letters, so stay cool. Okay? And, I think sometimes we see things like this, and at least for me, it almost feels like a weird sense of pressure. Like, well, what is even plan A? Because it's like these big plans. But in my case, it's like, actually, I can take things moment by moment. You know how people always say day by day, but I really need to like drill that down and embody that of, oh, okay, so these are my fears. Okay, so if this happens, this is a choice I can make. And I was doing some shadow work earlier today as well. And I got this vision of a maze. And I think it's so interesting that a maze, like amazing, but I'm talking about a maze. And how if we're in a maze and we hit a wall, right? Like we hit a dead end, we turn around, we go a different direction. Like we're always free to choose. The only way we'll like lose in a maze is if we hit a wall and we just literally stop moving and we stand there for the rest of our lives, right? Like, well, I hit a wall, that's it. And so when we think about life, there's actually no walls. It's like, like it's really wild, because we can think there's walls, and there might be like obstacles or twists and turns, but there's no actual like, you are literally just, you know, an actual wall, and you can't, you know, not only can you not go through the wall, but there's nothing you can do. No, you turn around, you go a different way. And so I think my word for this summer, particularly, and just moving forward, is freedom. And I also got this awesome, like, mental framework when someone was talking about technology and how technology can be very intimidating. I'm like, but isn't that interesting that if you were next to a kid that was learning technology, we would be nothing but compassionate, patient, like reassuring them, oh, this is just how it works. Oh, just break it down. Like, I'm here for you. So I'm probably going to take a stuffed animal, like I've got my Winnie the Pooh stuffed animal or something, and be like, this is my inner child, right? And she's learning something new, because I realize the emotions that come up when we are learning something new or trying something new are not our adult self. They are our inner child, right? Because otherwise, why would there be any resistance? It doesn't make sense, right? So, for example, let's say there's a food that someone had a traumatic experience with, so now they're afraid of that food, right? And their adult self knows that food isn't actually scary, like it's not going to hurt them. But their inner child, who had the traumatic experience with it, is like, that is not safe. So it's just so wild to think of it that way. So that's what I'm going to work on personally, is almost externalizing that part, because that is the elephant, that is the thing that runs the show in the end. And even if ultimately we want to get our whole self on board anyway, so even if we can override that, because I know we sometimes do need to do that, but just imagine how much easier it is, especially if you have kids, if you're like, okay, we're going in the car, and the kid says okay and gets in the car, versus no, right? Like, the kid's still going to get in the car most likely at the end, but which one's easier, which one's more pleasant, right? Which one? And that's kind of what it's like. So anyway, I hope this helps. And things haven't really landed yet, but I was able to maneuver through something and realize I kind of had two parts that were at odds with each other of what to do a particular thing. And it was like, actually, we can actually take step A, and then if something does happen, we can then take step B, like, we can figure it out. And I realized what I really want to continue to work on is self-honoring, like honoring myself, which I have not done in the past. And I realized that it's not a fear of rejection of other people. It's not a fear of other people rejecting me. It's a fear of, if other people say no or they don't seem to like me, that what would I then do to myself? So it's almost like, you imagine your inner child's at home, you go out into the world, you have an interaction with someone, it doesn't go the way you would like, you come home, you take it out on that inner child, that innocent inner child. That is what the fear is. I was like, whoa. Because if you think about it, if that inner child knew that no matter what happened outside, you were going to be safe with it, you were going to be loving to it, it wouldn't care. It wouldn't have that, I can't survive unless I have this person's approval. Right? So that's been a big day. But yeah. So I'm excited, especially this summer, to kind of have the time and space eventually to unpack this more. But regardless, I'm proud of myself ultimately for continuing to take steps and expand every single day. And I thought of it like, I'm going to hold my inner child's hand, so that it can do things that it might feel scared to do. But if it's holding my hand and it knows it's safe with me, then it's willing to try. So I hope this is helpful. Love you guys.